All right. Well, Jolene, I am showing 11 o'clock straight up. So we'll probably have some more people that will jump on. But at this point, let's go ahead and get started, okay?
Okay.
All righty. So, well, welcome everybody. We are so glad you guys are here. You can probably look in the chat box up there, or the little spot where it has Cindy Bishop and Jolene Moore. Well, you can tell I'm not Cindy. But anyway, I just wanted to welcome you this morning. This is going to be an awesome presentation. I've really been looking forward to it. Jolene is a friend of mine, but she's also a very, very knowledgeable lender who has an extremely powerful way of following up with her leads and making sure that she's staying on top of the leads that she has. So I think you're going to get a lot out of this presentation today. And I know you didn't come to listen to me, but I do have a couple things that I wanted to just share with you real quickly. First of all, hopefully everybody here has been and seen the chat box. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that you guys see me putting something in there real quick. And the reason why I want to make sure that you recognize this chat box is that this is how, because everybody is muted so that we keep the background noise to a minimum. In fact, I will mute myself once we get started. But I want to make sure that you see it, that you see the chat box, that you recognize where it is, and so that when you do have questions, what we found is that's really the best way for you to be able to ask them, is to ask them in the chat box, and that way we can address them as we go through the presentation. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, and we love, by the way, you guys, we love your questions, we love your comments, so questions and comments are absolutely encouraged, so please make sure that you're staying involved with this as we go. So the next step then is to recognize the fact that geniuses take notes. So, hey, if you're a genius, you see yourself that way, make sure you got a notepad and a pen handy. This presentation is going to be available as a link to a YouTube video. This is being recorded right now. I will send it to Jolene probably in the next day or two as a link, and that way she can share it with all of you that have been on this and expressed an interest in this presentation. So you'll be able to see it, but I would say you're going to pick up a lot more the first time around. So make sure you're taking notes as we go, okay? And lastly, the thing that I would tell you is that friends share stuff. That's what we do as friends, is we share our best things. Well, this is something that's awesome. I think you're going to get a lot from it. Jolene's going to share the link with you. And so I would appreciate it that if you guys like this, you feel like you benefited from it, and you have friends that you know would benefit from it as well, please share it. So with that, let me turn this over. Like I said, you didn't come here to listen to me. You came here to listen to Jolene. So Jolene, it's yours.
Thanks, Dave.
You bet.
So like Dave said, I'm Jolene from Intercoastal Mortgage. So I am going to be talking about lead generation, and there's a lot to cover in 30 minutes. So I'm probably going to talk fast. So if I go too fast, please always feel free to, like Dave said, put up a question in the chat box or reach out to me personally afterwards. I'm here to help you. I want to be a resource and help you guys grow your business. Hopefully you saw my video yesterday that I sent to you. And so now we're going to kind of get into it. All right, so the objective of the class today is I'm going to try to help you, give you some ideas on how to generate more leads. And as it says, more leads than you can potentially even handle. All right, and so some of the topics that we're going to talk about today are creating some lists, top 25, 50, current client referrals. I'll go over that a little bit more. Some business relationships, client events, and then of course technology, social media is very, very important. One of the things I want to share with you first is this book. It's called The Go-Giver. This book is, and I have it here on my desk. I have been read that a couple different times. It's an excellent book for kind of creating your mentality of how you want to run your business, but about how you want to give back to others. And the more you give, and it's kind of like it says, get more in value than you take in payment. Your income is going to be determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So it's really, that's what kind of my mentality is about lead generation, about working with my clients, is about how much am I giving them, how much value am I providing, and in turn, the relationships and the business will come. So I really highly recommend getting that book. All right, so now let's talk about top 25 past client lists. Unfortunately, unfortunately, in a webinar, you know, face to face, I can find out a little bit more about you, but so I don't know if you've been in the business for a while, if you're new to the business, but no matter what you are, how long you've been in it, think about trying to create a top 25. It can be a past client list. It can be people that you want to be potentially clients, people from your sphere of influence, whatever it may be, or, you know, maybe right now you don't have 25 on that past client list, but you're going to grow it over time. And then think about some programs that you can put into place to stay in touch with this past client list. You know, birthday program. I've done a birthday program for several years, and I send out various, like we've done hostess cupcakes in cute little boxes. We've used like send out cards or banner season, or two systems you can use online to help you make an automated system to be able to send this information out. So, but it's basically being able to, one, find out their birthday, so that would be working with a lender who can provide it, making it part of the to be able to gather that information so that you can put it, we'll talk about a little bit later, but be able to track that information so you're going to be able to reach out to them and it'll be a touch point for you. Also anniversary of the house. So you can see that on the bottom of this list is also connected to that, which is an annual review call. Annual review call is something you want to put into place where you're contacting your clients on their anniversary of when you sold them a house, or, you know, either and find out what's their current situation. You know, kind of using find out their Ford, the Ford relationship, which is their family, their occupation, their recreation, their dreams. You know, find out, has anything changed? Are they looking to grow their family? Are they looking to downsize? You know, whatever it may be, do they want to know what the current value of their home is? But it gives you the opportunity to, again, stay in touch with them, reach out to them, let them know that you're there, you're available. Because as you probably have heard, I think it's only like 12% of realtors follow up after closing. And you don't want to be in that percentage. You know, you want to be those ones that actually, you know, you want to be in the 12%, but increase that, all right? So you want to make sure you're staying in touch with your clients, thinking about doing little gifts, knowing when they have a baby, when they have a major birthday, things like that, you know, being aware, and that's connecting with them on social media, which we'll get to in a little bit as well. Having events, which we're going to talk to in a little bit. A letter of the heart is another touch point, and it gives you the opportunity to let your clients know a little bit more about you. A letter of the heart is you putting together a letter and telling them something about you, or maybe something, a challenge that you have. Like I'm doing one right now that I'm sending out to my past clients, and it's talking about how I was not properly prepared for retirement. And I knew it, and I set an appointment with my financial planner, found out that was true, and now put into place a plan to be able to make sure I am ready in the next 13 to 15 years. So what I did was kind of gave them a pain and then how I overcame it, but it tells them a little bit more about me. So think about doing something like that. You can do it as a video. You can do it as a hard copy. I'm mailing it this time. I did it as a video in the spring, but I'm going to mail them a letter so that they get a hard copy of it. So it's something, again, you can think about doing maybe on a quarterly basis, staying in touch with this list and group of people. And when you only have 25 on there, it makes it much more easy, you know, to handle and makes it doable. So think about that. Evidence of success. This is another touch point with your past clients to help them understand what you do in business. What is a success story that you've had over the past, you know, year, 6 months, quarter, however many times you want to do this a year, but telling them something that you've done and provided value to another client so that they can think about if they've run into that situation themselves or have a friend in that situation, that they know that you're the person that they can refer them to help them when that situation occurs. So
Hey, Jolene,
yeah.
can I just a real quick interruption? There, you are just a little bit muffled. So people are saying they can hear you, but just it's a little muffled. Are you somewhat of a distance from your microphone? Do you know?
I mean, I'm sitting in front of it, so I'm not too bad. I don't think so.
Really? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's just a little muffled, like you're a distance from the mic. So.
Well, I mean, I'm at my desk and the computer screen is right here, so I don't think I'm too far away.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Good. So yeah, and actually, right then sounded a bit clearer too. So yeah.
All right, I'll lean
So
in.
that helped. Good. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so that's kind of, talking about the top 25 list, and what you can do with that. So now we want to think about also creating a list of your 50 favorite people. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be 50. You can grow this list as you go along, but it's thinking about people that can be potential referral sources for you, that have influence in business, in your community, around you. It could be your church, your charity, your schools, whatever you may be involved in. Think about what, that who you're in relationship with, and create a list so that you are basically, what you're trying to do with all of these lists is you're having those situations that we just talked about, with the past client list, putting these programs into place, but also you're wanting to stay in touch with them, which means get together, call them. What I suggest is, if you have this list, you're going to call, like on 25, you're going to call 4 to 5 people every week from that list, so that you're touching base with them at least once a month, via phone call. 50, you're going to call, potentially 10 to 12 a week, so that again, you're touching base with them at least once a month, because you just need to make sure that they remember you, and that you're in relationship with them, and that they know who you are and how you can potentially help them. Because it goes back to that, the Go Giver book. It's about what kind of value can you provide to the people on this list, beyond them just trying to help you, but what can you do to help them? That is something I just strongly recommend that you think about when you're making these calls, is finding out more about them, so that like, do they, what do they need in their life, and who do you know that could be potentially helpful to them? So with this favorite people list as well, you can think about having some leveraged events. And we're going to talk about leveraged events as well in a little bit. You could have one event where you're inviting, both of these groups of people, as well as, other people outside of this. So we'll get into that a little bit. Again, thinking about people that you really like, who can potentially be influential, to help you with your business, and that know other people in businesses that you could connect with and potentially help them as well. And like I said, knowing what's going on in their life, what they like to do, and the point is, when you call them, is not to bring up business or looking for a referral, but thinking about what is it that they need, and what can you do to help them. And again, in turn, that's going to, help you. Popeyes, I know this is big with Brian Buffini. And one thing I'll tell you guys, if you're not doing it, podcasts. Podcasts are so helpful. And one podcast I really, really enjoy is Brian Buffini's. And I have my AirPods, and I put them on in the gym, and when I listen in the car, wherever I'm going, I'm getting ready in the morning, I'm listening to podcasts. Because if you're constantly learning and hearing what other people are doing in business, it helps so much in the mindset of how you're going to start that day. Like today, I started a podcast with a class about lead generation, because I was looking for any new ideas that I could incorporate today that would help me and pass on to you guys. So it's a constant learning. As long as you're learning, you're going to keep growing your business. So I really highly recommend Brian Buffini's podcast. But he's, I know, very focused on pop-ins. I don't do a lot with him, but I do love the podcast, and I know about his Popeyes. So thinking about kind of creating like a milk route, where you're going to be able to go by and see people on a weekly basis, so that you're getting that face-to-face connection, and again, focusing on creating those relationships. Bring them a little gift. We do some realtor gifts to some of the agents that I work with, and it's a little theme, like 4th of July was this year, you could do something related to that. It's the summer, people are having craft feasts, things like that. There's all kinds of something going on. I mean, there's a national day for everything anymore. So if it's National Cupcake Day or Donut Day, whatever it is, just think about something that you could potentially, bring when you are popping by. And then referring them. When you refer them, they're going to try to reciprocate. So think about, any opportunity you have when you're talking to someone about referring some of the people on these lists, and even your past clients, because all of us are in business in some format, but thinking about what you can do to potentially help them, which is going to, in turn, help you. And one of the things you need to do to make sure that these lists occur is putting them down on paper, or on the computer. I like paper, but you can create this in any format. And it's basically making sure that you have all of their information in a system, in a place, so that when you go to make these calls, every week, you already have them lined up. You already know who you're calling and what number it is. So you don't have to go and look them up every time. So you want to make sure you have that information readily available so that it doesn't prevent you from making these calls. And then track it. Make sure when you have these conversations that you track when you spoke to them and what did you guys talk about, so that you can remember when you talk to them next, or think about making notes like, what can I do to help them? What do they need right now? And making sure that you keep track of that so you can follow up. All right. And again, this sheet here I have available electronically. So if it's something you guys would like, please, you can reach out. You can reach out to me after the class, and we can provide that information. Current client referrals. This is another focus that I think a lot of people forget about. And I myself have been a culprit to that, and it's something I'm really focusing on. But what that means is when you are having a transaction, either buying or, selling someone's home, you want to think about what kind of system are you having in place that's wowing them, so that when they're during that process, because, there's the reticular activator here on this, on the slideshow. Reticular activator means that when you are doing something, your mind gets very focused on that, and that's what you see a lot. It's kind of like I used to own a white Explorer, and I saw so many white Explorers everywhere I went because my mind was focused on that. And just like when people are buying a home or selling the home, I can tell you how many clients call me and say, well, I talked to my friend and so-and-so got this or so-and-so did this. But use that to your advantage and say, when you do talk to your friends, think about me. My business is all based on referrals and working with people like you. So I need your help. So if you're talking to someone and they mention that they're looking to buy or sell their home, please refer them to me. I would love to help them and provide the level of service that I'm giving to you. So it's really thinking about using the current transactions that you're in to grow these leads, and make sure that you're getting the opportunities to expand. So again, that's that. When you have someone that's currently working with you and you refer them to them, when they refer someone to you, that is a very high chance of a conversion. So that is something you really want to focus on. Thinking about having some scripts in place so that you make sure you know what you want to say, and how you want to kind of prepare, like at the beginning of your interaction with them, thinking about how you want to set it up to where, if I take great care of you, will you be willing to, refer somebody to me at the end of the transaction or something like that, to where you're kind of letting them know that this is what you need as part of your business, and preparing them for them to think about it, and then you asking them again later in the transaction. The WOW checklist, what that means is you need to have a system in place that happens every single transaction you do, whether it's a buy side or a sell side, so that you know that everyone's going to get the same level of service every time they work with you, which means that client is going to be very comfortable in referring you to somebody because they know that you're going to take such good care of them. For instance, for us, 2 weeks prior to closing, a client gets a moving box. So it has a moving labels, it has a Sharpie, scissors, certain things that they need when they're starting to pack up their home. They get that from us 2 weeks prior to closing. So we have a system in place that's occurring throughout the transaction. Every Tuesday, they get an email from my team telling them, here's what's happening in the transaction. We send it to the agents, we send it to the buyer. They get a call from me on Tuesdays. Everyone in the transaction gets a call from me on Tuesday telling them what's happening. So they know when they refer somebody to me, they know what to expect, and they know that client is going to be taken care of, their friend or their colleague. So you really want to have that system in place and think about what are you doing to provide a little touch of extra value that's going to help them really incentivize them to want to refer someone to you. Negotiating, you guys are, really need to be focused on the negotiating skills. So really hyping yourself up and talking about how well you are going to negotiate, you're going to help them. And again, that's going to help them feel really comfortable in referring somebody to you. When that triangle of trust, when they do refer someone to you, make sure that you refer back to that client. So John referred them to you. So John, I really appreciate, I love John. I love working with him. I'm so thankful that he thought of me and referring you to me. We're going to take great care of you, just like we did with John. So kind of creating that triangle of trust and referring back to John, who gave you that opportunity, honoring him, but also creating that trust that they know John was happy when they worked with you, so you're going to take just as great care of them as you did with John. So those are some things things you really want to think about with current client referrals and really focusing in on that. And again, I'm sorry I'm talking fast. I know I only have 10 minutes left, so I want to make sure that I get into some of the social media stuff as well. Get involved. That's one of the biggest things that you can do. Making sure you get out there, get involved in a charity, in a church, in your schools, if you have young children in their sports, really letting people know what you do, but giving back to the community. And in turn, when they know what you do, they're going to want to give back to you. So really get involved and make people aware of what you do, but, get involved in things that really are passionate to you and that you feel, you want to give your time to, and then that, in turn will come back to them. Thinking about services that you use, people that you work with, thinking about different types of businesses that you can look at creating a relationship with, where you're referring them, but also hopefully having that reciprocation. But again, providing some value to them. So I think there's just a list. There's so many out there, but that's a brief list of people that you can think about. All right, events. So events, I think I've incorporated events probably about 3 years ago I do client appreciation events. I invite my realtors that I work with as well as my past clients. And we've had so much fun with these events. And there's ways to do it where it's super cost effective. You can team up with other realtors, and the way you market it can be still where it's just your event, but other realtors are doing it as well, so that you guys reduce the cost. And there's a fear when you're having an event is how many people are going to come. Believe me, I have that fear. I'm always afraid and looking at the list. Oh my gosh, do we have enough people here? But when you team up with other people, that's one way to kind of help way to reduce the cost. But there's so many cost-effective ways you can go to a park and have a moon bounce and some food catered, or bring it yourself. You could do a food truck. So some of the things that we've done is we've rented out a movie theater. We've done a pool party. We've actually had a apartment complex that let us use their pool and invited my past clients, and we had brought in barbecue and had some games there and let them swim. We rented out where the caps practice, which is actually a super cost effective because you get the whole ring for like $700 for an hour and a half. And that's relatively speaking, covers everything. That's a pretty inexpensive opportunity. And again, if you teamed up with several different agents, you guys could fill that thing and it'd be really cost effective. So again, what I have found when I've hosted these events is even when the clients can't come, they say thank you to me. They're like, thank you so much for having these, and really, having the opportunity for me to see them, but also giving something back to them. So a lot of agents I work with are very fearful of having these events. I would just strongly recommend that you just do it. And once you do it, then that fear kind of goes away and you kind of just build on it. So the first event I had, I was super afraid that nobody was going to show up. And then we just kind of built on it over the years. So events can be very powerful. Even having a happy hour, having it at your house. Like I'm going to be hosting an event in the fall with some realtors that I work with and their spouses, and we're going to do bunco. So there's just so many things you can do that are cost effective and invite people into your home. That really, elevates that level of trust. So events, I would strongly recommend that you put into your business. So social media. As we all know, it is a huge part of our business. Dave Redabaugh, who started, that's something that he is really involved in, so you can always talk to him. But we've gotten much more present on Instagram and on Facebook. I do videos. We show pictures of clients who closings with. We promoted this webinar, other classes that I teach. There's all kinds of different things, and I'm looking at trying to provide value. And my focus is more going after my past clients to make sure I stay in front of them, and have them looking at me as a resource and someone that is very knowledgeable in the business, and that they know that they can feel comfortable coming back to me as well as referring me. So it's something that you guys, if you aren't doing now, you definitely want to make sure that you are getting involved in social media, because it is really the way of now and well into the future. So
Hey, Jolene, just real quick, sorry to interrupt, but there's still some people that are having a difficult time hearing you. I know that the last time when you moved up a little closer to your mic, it seemed to help some. So,
all right. Well, I feel like I've stayed as close as I can. I'll have to do something different for next time then, because I don't know what, I've had these numerous times and I've never had the issue, so I'm not sure what the issue is.
Really? Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
It's still a little muffled, but yeah, it's better for sure. So,
Let me see, the only thing I could do is put in headphones. Let me see if that works better.
okay. Yeah, someone actually missed some of the services on slide 10 because she was trying really hard to listen.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, goodness. Is there a way to call in, Dave? Or is it where I could call in from my phone and do it that way, and not use the computer audio?
You know what? It probably wouldn't hurt because I'm sure everybody would rather be able to hear you clearer. So let me see what I can find out real quickly here to get us. Do you have the number?
No.
Call. Let me find that email real quickly. Okay.
Oh.
One sec here, guys. Sorry about the delay, but we will get this right. And if you could actually, can you scroll back to slide 10? I think the one where you listed the services.
Yeah.
There we go. Good. Perfect. Good.
I'll send this.
Just hold that up there for just a second. Let me find the listing so that we can, or the phone number so you can call in. That might help. Let's see. Hold on a second.
Is it the 646-876-9923?
I don't want to delay this, but I want to get you guys so you can hear for sure.
So Dave, I called in and it says you have me on hold.
Uh-huh.
If you take me off, then I hopefully should be able to finish it by here.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, here's the phone number if you want to use this.
I'm here and it just says I'm on hold. So if you can take me off hold.
Oh, really? Okay. Hold on a sec here. Oh, you did find the number?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. You guys, I think we're going to have to work with, just because for some reason Jolene can't get on the number, but if we can just work with just Jolene being a little closer to the mic, hopefully that will help you guys. And again, you will be able to get a follow-up with this. So if there is something you felt like you maybe missed, we'll be able to make sure you have access to this information. Okay. Because I know it's really good. I know you guys are, yeah, I get a lot out of it every time.
Dave.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm on the phone. You just need to unmute me.
Oh, okay. Which number is it?
It's 703-216.
Oh, 361?
No, 216-6688.
There it is. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, good. Perfect.
Okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Oh my gosh. Incredible.
Oh.
Awesome.
Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I guess we should have shifted early on. Okay.
Oh, wait.
Right.
Now we got an echo. Oh, hold on a
Okay.
second.
Is it better now?
Yes. Yes. Good. Good.
Okay.
Okay. Good. We're
Okay.
walking. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, okay. So let me go back here. Okay. So we're talking about Facebook, Instagram, all of that. So, there's ways to, create likes, do videos, all that kind of stuff. So be sure to look at that. Zillow and Google, this is something I think Dave taught me, but you guys want to make sure you Google yourself and make sure when you Google that your business pops up on the right-hand side of the screen, which means you have to verify your business through Google. But you want to make sure that you're taking those steps, that when people Google you, because I can't tell you how many contracts I get, and I go to look for the listing agent and I Google them and I can't find them. And so you really want to make sure that you're out there and people know who you are, and they can get in touch with you. So be sure to Google yourself and make sure you verified your business, that it's there on that screen, and that your website is up to date. You know, make your email and your cell phone readily available. I mean, you want people to be able to reach out to you, and I can't tell you how many people I've tried to reach out to, and I can't find their email, and I can't get their cell phone number. So you really want to make sure the clients can get in touch with you. And then also focusing on reviews and building that. Again, I focus on Google reviews, so you want to make sure that, you know, we had like that client events that we did. We had a drawing. After the event, we said, anyone that leaves a review for us, you're going to be entered into a drawing and you'll win a gift card. So there's ways to try and incentivize people as well to give you a review. You know, you just provided this wonderful event for them. So you want to ask them to give something back, and then again, you're going to give them something again in return. So those are some ways to think about to try and boost those reviews. But, you know, we have a nice little image that we sent out via email after closing saying, please leave us a review. I follow up and say, we're going to be sending this to you. If you wouldn't mind taking a few minutes to do the review, it would be super helpful to us. You know, again, focusing on, you know, all of our business is based on referrals. You know, we need help from people like you to make sure people know how we take care of our clients, you know, really letting them know who you are and asking them to help you. So that's a way you can do it. Videos. As I said, yesterday I sent out a video. I use videos quite a bit. There's a system called BombBomb that I use, and that's how I sent it yesterday. You can upload your contacts and be able to send out videos like that. You can record them on your phone. I recorded yesterday's video with this, and it has a little remote that you can do it. So it's Bluetooth, so it's really easy. You know, having little props like I had yesterday. You know, using videos in the sense where you, when you leave an appointment, do it in the driveway or the parking lot and say, it's so wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for taking the time. You know, here's what you expect the next time, or just honestly just honoring them and thanking them. Then incorporating videos in part of your process. So we've been doing, you know, videos. I schedule to do videos, record videos every Wednesday morning at 9:30. My team comes in here, we get it set up with our lighting, and we record videos so that we can have them set to go. We send out videos every other Wednesday to realtors, and then we do one video a month to our past clients. But thinking about, and then we do videos that are specific to Instagram because they need to be a little bit shorter. So setting that in your calendar and making that part of your process, that you record these videos, get them into BombBomb, get them in, you know, send them through whatever system that you want to use to make sure that you're getting these out and putting them out on social media. So again, people look at you as a resource and someone that really knows what they're doing and that they want to come to you. So videos can be very, very powerful. Birthday anniversary videos as well. You know, when we talked about like doing an anniversary call for their, when they, purchase their home, their anniversary, like if you track their anniversary, if they're married, do that. When it's their birthday, you know, there's so many things that you can do videos that really provides an impact because they get to know you a little bit more. You can be crazy on the videos, you know, you want to have energy. And again, you know, don't make them like, you don't have to be super professional. They can be very quick. And, you know, just be able to get them done and get them out. Lead tracking, this is a form that I use, that I keep on my desk all the time. It's over here, and you want to track all this information. So we've talked about how to generate leads, but now you also need to make sure that you're tracking them. And that you got to get the information, like, and really track who, on here it talks about, like we just went through, like the CCR, the current client referrals, you know, all the different sources of business that are down below on this form. The CCR, it's past client referral, past client, personal friend, other realtors that you may have relationships with that have referred you, any ads that you do, other businesses, you know, that you have relationships with, and then builders. And then you want to create a goal for each of these, arms of your business, and then make sure you're tracking to see how many leads are you getting from each of these arms of business. So it really help you figure out where you need to focus to make sure you're keeping those goals and making, focusing on the right areas. So this form, again, I have electronically. It's very helpful to make sure that you're keeping track and knowing, like, what are they doing? Are they looking to purchase? They're looking to buy? What's their time frame? And then you want to put it in your CRM. So hopefully all of you guys have your database set up. If you don't, that is one of the first things that you should do, is making sure that you have the CRM set up so that all the information we just talked about today, you use that and put it in your CRM so that you go back and be able to easily remember, okay, I had a conversation with John last week. This is what we talked about. I talked to Allison last month, and this is what we talked about. This is, can populate their birthdays and tell you when it's coming up, when their anniversary of their, the home sale is, or their anniversary of buying their home. That CRM is such a huge, useful tool, and there's so many out there, and I know Cindy has several that she's recommended that you can get for free, that are user-friendly, that are going to be able to help you automate some of this, that makes it a little bit less cumbersome for you to be able to try to manage and build your business. And one thing I just heard today that I wanted to pass on to you, when you're doing follow-up, if you call and they don't answer, and then you call right back, and there's a 72% chance that they will answer on that second call. And you could simply explain that, oh, I dialed and it didn't go through, so I didn't think it went through, so I called right back. There's so many excuses, but it's a way that you could kind of trick them into answering the phone. So something to think about when you're making all the calls of follow-up, which is so important, because the other thing is I think it takes usually 7 times before someone might be ready to act on moving forward. So you got to keep the follow-up in place, and that's where that CRM is super duper helpful. So I'm sorry that there was some audio issues. I hope everyone got something out of it. It's a quick time. I know I went over, so I apologize, but I'm here to help you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to send this PowerPoint out so you can look at it and refer back to what we just talked about. Are there any questions on anything that I went over that you guys would like to further discuss, even though we are over time? Dave, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So please do, you guys, weigh in if you have questions. I forgot to unmute myself. There we go. But anyway, no, I appreciate you guys being here, but I want to make sure you take advantage of this opportunity. It's okay that we're actually over time a little bit. So, yeah, if you guys have questions, even something that you felt like you might have possibly missed earlier on that you want to, a little clarification on that would be fine. So go ahead and type it into the chat box. That would be helpful. And I'll pass this on to Jolene as we get these.
Yeah, if there's anything that, like Dave said, if there's anything you guys missed, if it was garbled at some point, I apologize. So if there's anything that you want me to readdress, I'm happy to touch back on it and go over it for you guys.
Yeah,
and like I said, I'm here
too.
Available too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's feedback too. Anything that you want, like I'm talking to you guys, and looking to, help me make this better too. So if there's anything that I could have done that would have helped you other than the sound, which I know now going forward, but anything else, just, please let me know.
Jolene, this is a really good comment from Tony. She put in great info. It was definitely a lot you covered, but going back through the slides will likely generate some questions later. So I guess if anything, it's just to know that you guys have opened up a line of communication with each other and with Jolene no, and I appreciate that, Tony. That's a really good comment. I appreciate it. So you're exactly right. Going back through it, you may go, oh, okay, well, yeah, maybe I need a little more details on this thing. So.
Well, and Tony, in reference to that, I know it's a lot of information, but I guess and I thought about that, but my main point in doing these is trying to help you guys as much as possible and provide as much information as I can. So it's hard for me to cut out some of it because I felt like there's so many different things that could help you. And it could be that one thing that you're like, wait, I really would love to do that. That's something that speaks to me. But could be other things in this that don't speak to you. So it's like finding that you know, that thing that's really jumped out to you. And that's why I'm providing, I guess, a little bit more information would hopefully find that thing for everybody as much as possible. That makes sense.
Do you have this particular, because I know you do a session of this where it's like 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours. So yeah, we'll be doing this again face to face. So just look for, you know, emails from Cindy for upcoming classes that I do this in person. So if you guys would love, you know, this is abbreviated version of it. So we can, you know, definitely do that. And this is abbreviated PowerPoint, so I can send this out to you guys too. That has it a little bit shorter.
Good. Yeah, and we've got the emails and everything. So good. Good. No, any other comments or questions, you guys, before we sign off? Let's see. Good. Here's from, let's see, this is very helpful info. I love your ideas for ways to connect. Would you be able to provide a copy of your lead form to use? Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, that lead tracker I have electronically, so I can definitely send that out to help you guys.
Good. Yes. So you guys will get the lead form. And like I said, if anything, this way Jolene will have established email contact if she hasn't already with you guys. Sandra says, thank you. Thank you, Sandra, for being here. So I think we're good. I think looks like everybody is, hopefully everybody's weighed in with any questions or comments that you have. So yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it. So good.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Jolene.
much. And again, if you need anything, just reach out to me.